Sorry. Oh, sorry. Are you here for Readers Anonymous? Oh, good. I'm in the right place then. Hi, I'm Iona, and this is my first YouTube video on this new channel, Iona Book or Two. As you can see behind me, I do own several books, but I am really, really excited to be starting this channel and having the opportunity to talk more about them. This video is the Booktube Newbie Tag, which is all over YouTube, and I'm not quite sure who exactly started it, but I do know it's been around for a long, long time. I will put all the questions for this tag in the description if you want to give it a go, but stick around and hopefully you can figure out what this channel is going to be, hopefully, and a little bit more about me and my reading taste. Now, let's get on with the questions. Question 1. Why did you start this channel? I started this channel because I have been watching Booktube for a really, really long time, and I love the sense of community that's generated out of it. I think that readathons and reading sprints really bring people together in sort of real time to talk about books, and I'd love to get more involved in that. I also have been on Bookstagram now for a couple of years, and I keep coming up with ideas that I think would work so much better as a YouTube video. So this is me taking the plunge so I can finally start to do some of those ideas. I'll talk a bit more about the ideas hopefully later in the video, so stick around and you can hear what I've got planned. What are you most excited about for your new channel? Honestly, I'm the kind of person who has so many ideas, so I'm really excited to get in depth in some of my new niche ideas that I have. I also would love to be part of readathons that go on here, as I mentioned. I've recently taken part in the Tower Readathon, I've taken part in the Amazing Readathon, and I just love that sort of community feel of all working together and challenging each other to read as many books as you can in that period of time. And I really, really love reading sprints. But the problem is, because a lot of the readathons I've taken part in have been hosted by American booktubers, a lot of the times the reading sprints are at 11 p.m. UK time, and I am a morning person, so they sometimes just do not work for me at all. So I would love to be able to host reading sprints on a UK or European time zone, just to sort of help out those of us who live on this side of the world. What are some fun and unique things you can bring to Booktube? I am an any genres reader. I am also pro-library and a bit anti-consumer. Also, I don't know if you can see from these shelves behind me, but I have very little room for any new books. So any hauls you see from me, at least for a little while, will be unhauls or library hauls. I also live in Scotland, and sometimes I feel like the Booktube space is kind of dominated by Americans. At least that's what shows up on my feed sometimes. So hopefully I can be a refreshing voice on your feed and maybe take you on a tour of some of Scotland's best bookshops. When did you start reading? I have always been a reader, really, ever since I was a kid, but I definitely took a bit of a break while I was at university. I think reading heavy political texts for my politics degree really kind of put me off reading any other kind of books. It was around 2020 when COVID hit that I first started getting back into reading fiction books. By 2023, I had read 24 books that year, and then last year, in 2024, I had read 63 books. So I think it's fair to say that it has exploded over the past couple of years. I'm on track for my goal of 70 in 2025, but I think that might be my absolute limit. Sometimes the reading slump just hits. What book or series got you into reading? I have two answers for this, as a child and as an adult. As a child, I would say it was the Rainbow Fairy books. I think there was literally 100 of them. I had a huge collection of them when I was a kid, and I used to love reading all the short stories about the different fairies. It really was just a lovely little series to get me into reading as a kid. As an adult, I think when I first started reading fiction again in 2020, one of the first ones I picked up was Going Postal by Terry Pratchett, which is such a fun book, and I really, really enjoyed that. I also think another one was The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. I know that's a bit of a Marmite book, but I think for me, I just loved the imagery and I loved the setting, and I know that it's pure vibes, but sometimes you just need that in a book. Sometimes no plot, just vibes is the best way to be. What kind of books do you like to read? Storygraph says that my taste is emotional, adventurous, and lighthearted, which I would say is a pretty accurate description. I love fantasy books, all subgenres of fantasy, epic fantasy, magical realism. I also really love cozy mysteries, but nothing too scary. I have read a couple thrillers that my mum has recommended to me. Why are mums always interested in thrillers and crime? What is that? But they are just a bit too spooky for me sometimes. I love a cozy mystery, I love sci-fi, and I do also sometimes enjoy a romance. I also do enjoy classics. I'm working my way through all of Jane Austen's works at the moment, and I do enjoy a non-fiction too. I think the remnants of my sociology and politics degree really do show up in my non-fiction taste. What questions would you like to ask your favourite booktubers? I guess, how do you stick with the consistent posting schedule, especially if you are someone who also has a full-time job on top of this? How do you come up with creative ideas? And do you have any tips for when you have imposter syndrome over your creativity? Also, I guess I would ask, can we be friends? Is that cringe? I feel like that's really cringe. What challenges do you think starting a booktube channel will be the hardest to overcome? Honestly, I think I'm a little bit of a scatterbrain sometimes. I think keeping to that schedule will be a bit of a challenge to me. I'm also working part-time and studying for a master's part-time, so I know that I'm kind of overloading my plate here, but this is something I'm really, really passionate about, so I felt that I really owed it to myself to give this channel a go. That's the end of the questions on this tag, but I thought I would just tell you a little bit more about the kind of ideas I have coming up on this channel. I already have plans to make a video on my entire physical TBR, which I'm a little bit stressed out about because I think there are about 100 and something books, and getting them all down from the shelves and then having to put them all away again is going to be really, really stressful. But I'm doing it for you personally, so stick around. Aside from that, I have some ideas to film myself reading the entire of the Discworld series, all 40 something books in that. I have plans to do a weekly reading vlog where I only read thrillers for Halloween. That one is going to be a personal challenge, but I am willing to step up and rise to it. I also have already plans to do some kind of vlogmas, bookmas thing in the lead up to Christmas. So safe to say I have big plans. So stick around and hopefully you'll enjoy watching this channel grow as much as I will. Bye for now.